Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. So glad y'all are here joining us. My name is Stephanie, part of our coaching team here at Nitrogen. I'm joining y'all from the East Coast down here outside Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm joined by my fantastic co-host and teammate, Chris Quandt. Hi, Chris. How's it going today?
Oh, Stephanie coming in from the West Coast. So excited to be here, pretty much coast to coast here as we present. Man, it's so much good stuff. I say we got to jump right into this stuff.
I know there's so much to show you guys, so we're gonna dive into it. Just as a reminder for today, we are gonna be recording this, so if you have to jump in, jump out, you can catch the replay afterwards. But we'll have everybody muted. We've got the Q&A box open at the bottom. Drop your questions in there. We've got the chat box open also at the bottom of Zoom. So if you want to chat with us, drop comments ideas, say hello, tell us where you're joining from since you
Yeah.
know where we're joining you from. So yeah, drop those in. We've also got resources. Again, if you look at the bottom of Zoom, there may be a button that says more or resources. Look for either one, and you can jump in and grab some links and PDF resources there. And we'll have a poll or two and a survey and things like that during today's session. So stick around, stay engaged with us. We're super glad that you're here. So we are going to launch our first poll right now. So if you attended or watched last week's product launch, which new capability are you most excited to see? So tell us, give us your feedback in that poll there that's on screen. Let us know what you're most excited to see. We should be able to walk you through a lot of it today, show you a little bit more of the points and clicks, the things that are available right now or coming very, very soon.
Mhm.
So thank you again for letting us know what you're excited to see. So we're excited to show you a lot of those items today. So with that, Chris, I'll pass it over to you if you want to walk us through some of the new stuff with Nucleus, our AI agent.
Yeah, our agentic AI agent is expanding, and we are so excited that that is expanding kind of a little bit outside of nitrogen itself, helping to help advisors along with their workflows. So, Stephanie, if we go to the next slide here, we've got a video of what this would look like for those of you that are working in Slack, also in Microsoft Teams. This is kind of a quick example of what it would look like for Nucleus to be working inside of Slack. So, again, for you those of you that are using Nucleus to help you along in your workflows, again, just depending on what your team uses, the tech stack that your team uses, we're making Nucleus now available in things like Slack, in things like Microsoft Teams. Also, Nucleus is coming as an MCP to ChatGPT and Claude. So we'll have those. MCP is basically a way to make a handshake, the connection between the two. So as you're working in your AI agents as well, leveraging Nucleus, all the information, all the intelligence, all the data that Nucleus has that you would have inside of Nitrogen, now you're able to use that inside of your agents, whether you're working in Claude, Chat, GPT, that will be there for you as well. And another thing that we're excited about is that we have Schwab account opening. So Nucleus account opening. Schwab is our first partner on that. Now, we know that we showed you a lot. This is coming. This has been mapped out. It's being worked out. The final finishing touches, the finished carpentry, if you will, is being put on this. So we want to show you again, in case you missed it, because we rolled out a lot in last week's product launch, and this was just a quick section of it. So in case you missed it, we want to show you what that looks like. The announcement from our CTO, Jesse Rosado, again, just to revisit this and show you what to expect and what's coming with Schwab account opening. So let's, Stephanie, go ahead and play that.
Introducing Nucleus account opening. The proposal no longer ends in that same process. It ends with real accounts open from right inside Nitrogen. And we could not have picked a better place to start. Our launch partner for Nucleus account opening is Charles Schwab. Schwab is investing heavily in AI workflows across their systems, and they asked us to be a pioneer with them on next generation integrations. Nitrogen is among the very first platforms anywhere to showcase their brand new account opening APIs. And with Charles Schwab already our largest custodial partner by a wide margin, This starts exactly where it will help the most advisors. Here's how it works. If you use Charles Schwab, you'll see a new account type, and it's to open a new Schwab account. Nucleus does the work of pre-filling as much of the data as it possibly can and simply hands you a quick review. Nucleus is smart, it's got access to your CRM and all the data you've got across nitrogen products. So at this point, you're just confirming details, not starting a new packet. I validate everything, submit it to Schwab without ever leaving nitrogen, and a pending account appears right in Susan's portfolio, tracking the status. When Schwab completes the account number flows back, and when the account starts feeding into nitrogen, we reconcile it automatically to that same account with no duplicates and no further work. And I don't even need to do this in the portfolios interface, by the way. Nucleus is everywhere, and I can just chat with it. It knows we can open a Charles Schwab account, it can help me walk through it, and it can even check the status for me. From proposal to open account in one continuous workflow, that's what it means for your AI teammate to finish the job. Be on the lookout. We'll be rolling this out with Charles Schwab across our eligible shared customers ahead of their big impact event this fall.
Yeah, so that's something that's coming this fall. So we're super excited about that to let you know how we're expanding even more with Nucleus and inside of account opening with Charles Schwab. We're going to go back in, we're going to actually jump into nitrogen right now because with basically your coworker, Nucleus, following you along, it used to be just on the client profile. And now as we're expanding what Nucleus can do for you, for those that have access to Nucleus, again, our agentic AI agent, it is there. If we're still working on approval for you, your firm will let you know, and we'll be sure to communicate that once Nucleus is approved because it's been approved in a lot of places, but I know folks are still doing their homework, and that's totally okay. But for those that see, I'm going to click on it again, this little side panel right here. I clicked on this Open Nucleus. Now this side panel, this we call it sidecar basically. It's going to follow you throughout nitrogen, so you can use this as you're working here on the home page, for example, or if I jump into Discovery, you'll see that Nucleus follows me there as well. If I go into my models, in my model section, Nucleus follows me there. Again, if I go back to home and maybe I want to go to security stats as I'm using that, and I'll just go and find one of these and say, hey, I'm going to be working in security stats. You see how Nucleus is following me throughout the program wherever I go. It's like having a nice little loyal friend, Stephanie, come along with you and helping you do the work. Now, I'm not putting in any prompts in when I'm doing this, but as you can see, you can start to say like, hey, Nucleus, what can you tell me here? Help summarize this for me when I'm looking at QQQ. Like ask Nucleus what it can do for you if you don't know where to start, especially if you're just like, hey, what can you do for me for my models? Or, summarize what QQQ is looking like for me. Or if you're using it inside of Discovery to help you do some fund screening there, you can use it there as well. It's also in detailed portfolio stats now as well, along in Reports Builder if you pull up a report and you want to start working in Reports Builder. So Nucleus, like a loyal little dog, is following you all throughout wherever you go inside of nitrogen. So we wanted to point that out for you just to make sure that for those of you that are utilizing it, you know that you can start utilizing it throughout the platform. So Stephanie, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I'm going to pop it over to you for our next little bit here as we talk about, I believe we're going into Tax Center now.
We are, yeah. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, I think Chris mentioned it briefly here too with Nucleus being available everywhere. Check out these little bubbles, these little suggestion starting points. Anytime you open a new chat with Nucleus, like if I go to reports or if I go to discovery, these questions and suggestions will change. So if you're not sure where to start, look at one of those little suggestion bubbles, and maybe it'll prompt a question in your mind or spark an idea of what you can do with Nucleus when you're in a particular section of nitrogen. So what I want to show you right now really quickly is the ability to upload 1040 statements if you have Tax Center or Nitrogen Complete, the ability to use Nucleus to upload those documents for you. So if you've tried like statement capture, uploading account statements in Nucleus, it's been able to do that. And now it can do 1040s. So I'm going to sort of at mention the client that I want down here in the bottom chat box. And I'm going to drag over the tax return that I have and ask it to upload this 1040 tax document and then just hit enter. And it's going to run through and say, okay, I need a couple pieces of information. So I'm also going to grab those pieces of information and paste that in as well. And then it'll process what it needs. And Betty's date of birth. Okay, cool. We'll do that as well. Perfect. We've added that. And so then it goes through all of the work for you. Again, the AI agent will always like check and say, okay, can I proceed? Can I continue? And you as the advisor have control. So we're doing this right now on the screen in the account. So it's uploading there, it's submitted for processing. We'll notify you, Nitrogen will notify you when new uploads are ready to go. And then if you want to repeat that process, you can just go into a new chat up in the very top, or click this little plus sign on the left and open up a new chat if you want to do something different. I usually recommend that selecting a new chat option if you're going to be talking about a different client or working on a different activity or something like that. That way, you have this whole chat history on the left. So you can go in and see, okay, when did I talk about, this particular client, or when did I have Nucleus help me execute something on their profile? You've got that chat history if you're regularly starting new chats. So that was easy in about 60 seconds, probably less than. We submitted that for upload. And then once it's ready, I'll be able to go into Tax Center. It may still be uploading here. There we go. So it's extracting. You can always pop into the taxes tab once I open up that client profile. It's thinking, it's doing its thing. And it will let us know here when it's done. And so let's pull up a client here. Chris, who are we going to pull up for? I
Let's
think
do Lemon. Let's do, if you do last name Lemon,
perfect,
Don
perfect.
and
There
Janet.
we
There we
go.
go.
So we show you kind of how to put the ingredients together and put it in the oven. And now we like to pull out a baked example for you,
Mhm.
fully baked and ready to go, like your favorite weekday talk show episodes. So this is a finished example. So once you upload a 1040, again, this is with Tax Center or Nitrogen Complete. If you have these as a part of your subscription, you can go in, view this snapshot. Again, Nitrogen is all about the visuals. So I navigated to the taxes tab. I'm viewing the snapshot. I can scroll down and see this has all been here for a while, so we want to make sure we're showing you what's new and exciting. So not only can Nucleus upload the 1040s for you, it can also drive the Roth conversion calculator. So you can come in here and you could simply open up Nucleus and give it the information, say, hey, I want to run a Roth conversion calculation. Here are the details, what have you. You can run that through Nucleus. Or you can open up this purple side panel inside of the Roth conversion tab as well. Expand that and change the information from there as well. So that's new. And then if we pop back over to the snapshot as well, so we want to kind of show you the clicks, make sure you're getting familiar with navigating where all these new shiny things are. We have also added tax scenarios, which is super exciting. With tax scenarios, I think we had a few available, but now you can change things like states. What if we move to a different state? You can do that. What if our income increases or decreases, business income, capital gains and losses? We have some different fields that you can fill out here. So let's say they're currently in New York and they're considering going to Florida. Why not? Every retiree or many retirees I hear want to go to Florida. So if I preview these changes, then it lets me see, okay, what's the tax impact? Federal taxes, state taxes, the income tax bracket changes, things like that. You see the suggested changes, the sort of scenarios that we're running up here on the top. And then it'll typically highlight different areas that will change. So state tax goes down, state income tax bracket goes down, so on and so forth. So you can kind of see those areas highlighted. And then if you want to toggle back to their current situation, you just click this current button in the upper right, and that's where you can flip back and forth between current and scenarios. So if you want to change that scenario, you can remove this one with the three little dots on the right-hand side. You can edit it, remove it. So that's how you can go in and create those tax scenarios. So lots of questions. You can run it side by side, toggle it back and forth. And then one other area that we want to show you is the new tax location. Also, I'm going to call out, we have these nice little pop-up here. So Nucleus, let me know that the tax return is done for Bart and Betty. So love to see those up there. But we're going to keep us here on the Lemon family. If we go to tax location, this is also new. Now, our examples might not be super exciting. So the visuals here, you may have seen last week during the product launch, but what the tax location is going to allow you to do.
And actually, Stephanie, I'll jump in real quick. Let's go to
Yeah,
the Delgado family. Actually, we got a
perfect.
little bit better view with the
Okay,
Delgados. We haven't.
excellent.
We're still in conversation with the lemons, but the Delgados, we went to tax location there. We've got
Yeah.
that feeding in there where it's a little bit more independent of the other things.
Beautiful. Yes. Thank you so much, Chris. Great call out. Yeah, so we see tax location. Again, this is in Tax Center. The registration types, we've added registration types into accounts. So you no longer just have to qualify them as taxable, non-taxable, or Roth. Now you can go in and say, this is a 401k, this is a traditional IRA, this is a Roth IRA. We have like dozens of registration type options. If you have accounts syncing over from a custodial platform, those registration types may be automatically detected, but you can come in here into tax location into a portfolio and view and edit the registration types pretty easily. But this is what tax location is going to look like. It'll show you potential tax savings, current annual tax spend, optimized annual tax spend. So if you take a portion of one account here, let's say this V and Q, and move that from the taxable brokerage to the traditional IRA, that will produce some tax savings. Vice versa, there's a muni bond here. If you flip that to another account, that'll help. So this will have the sort of colored ribbons to show you maybe some optimized tax changes that you could make based on those accounts that are taxable, tax deferred, and tax exempt. So lots here, lots to see. Chris, anything else we want to mention on the new tax center capabilities before we jump into risk center?
Yeah, so this is my next point that I want to talk about. So actually, while we're here, that's where these registration types come in. So as you're working inside of portfolios, you might notice that says, hey, set registration type. So where we go there, we can search by the code. So there is an account inside of the Delgado family's portfolio when we create the current portfolio that doesn't have a registration type. So it's asking us, hey, so we can create this tax location map. What exactly is this account? How can we map this account so we can see its efficiency? So again, yeah, if we're going to the portfolio there, Stephanie, perfect. Those mind reading classes are coming in handy. This is where we're setting those registration types right there. So for instance, we see with the Delgado that it's an individual, but just by clicking on that type there, we can go ahead and drop that down and see what type. We get more granular now with these registration types. So again, that's really helping to feed that tax location. So if you're wondering, like, I don't remember setting registration types before, what is this? So yes, we have this set as a traditional. We have this one set as a Roth. That's where that's what that's doing, and that's helping to field that. And also things like our tax drag and whatnot. It's going to inform that as well. But just a quick heads up for you as you're working inside of portfolios now with these individual accounts, you'll see that we're going to be asking you to set the registration type, and that's where that's feeding. So it just kind of helps us from a tax standpoint get a little bit more granular there. So Stephanie, if you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen if you want. I'm going to pop open my screen here for my next section. I want to take you through a few things here when it comes, we talked about those registered account types. Another thing that we're doing, we're working in Discovery. So those of you that have our Research Center subscription, you've got Discovery. I'm going to click up here for us, and this is basically our fund screener. So as you're doing research inside of nitrogen, maybe you want to say, hey, I want to rebalance this model. I'm looking to maybe rebalance my client's accounts. One of the new things that we have, I'm just going to jump. I could just use plain, language here to start searching for something right from the screen here, or if I want to click on browse all securities. One thing that we want to point out to is a new filter that we've got. So if I pop open this side window over on the right over here, we can see all of the different filters that we have. Now I can add a filter. These are the ones that are coming up for me right away. But the newest one is provider. So if I click on provider, and click on save, that's going to add it now over to my list of filters. And oh, by the way, before I come back to that, you can click on add filter and just see all of the filters that you have the option to add on. So if you're using Discovery or maybe new to Discovery, if you haven't noticed that, go ahead and give that a look there. And again, if you open up Discovery and that little side window isn't out there, that's just this little arrow over to the right here, and then we can add filters. Now that provider, when I click on that, that's looking for models. So we've got models in there, so different models, partner store models that are in there are now searchable in Discovery. So that's how we're going deeper is, hey, what if I want to take a look at those partner store models? I want to look at those maybe on an individual basis, kind of see as I side scroll, see all of these different metrics here from that model standpoint. I can absolutely do that. And again, that is the provider filter right there. Quick heads up, if I want to close this window out, this has caught me out a couple of times. So I'll give you a pro tip here. If I click on that X, that's going to take the filter away. So I've done that a couple times where I just wanted to shrink it up there, and I actually ended up closing it out completely. It's super easy to add it back in. I'll just click that. But if I see all my list of things that I want to choose from here, just clicking on the name provider will shrink that back up instead of just getting rid of that filter. But if you do want to get rid of it, you can do that as well. So that's new in Discovery. Now, we're going to go over to the thing, Legacy Center. I'm going to go to, and just a quick heads up, this search bar up here follows you wherever you're going. I'm going to go to Dave and Linda Johnson here because one of the things that we announced in our last, not this last product update, but the one before that, is a thing called Legacy right here. So this tab for those that have Legacy. Now, if you've got Nitrogen Complete, that subscription, you've got Legacy there, you've got Tax Center there with you. These are Legacy and Tax, that's available as an add-on. So if you don't have that, you want to add those on, you absolutely can. And we're going to get to, hang on, we're going to get to Insurance Center here in just a second if you're seeing that. But let's hang here on Legacy Center for just a second. Now, this is where I can go, and all of these conversations that I've had is like, hey, what happens after our client passes on? What happens with all of the beneficiaries? Well, this is where maybe we've been mapping this out on a legal pad. Maybe we've got maybe a rough draft of where this lives. Now I can show my clients, and they have a say in it in real time, where all of our assets are, these portfolios that we've been helping them build over time, what's going going to happen to those? So Legacy Center helps us do that. We can add beneficiaries here. We can look at accounts and trusts. I can add life insurance policies. Where are those going to go when we pass on? But really specific to beneficiaries here, now available is Legacy Key. We talked about it last time, but now it's actually available in use. And this is where our client actually gets to have a say in like, hey, I want to reach out. I want my beneficiaries to know that you're my advisor and that when I pass on, I would really like them to reach out to you because they're probably going to need some advice when it comes to these inherited assets that they have now, as that transfer of wealth is happening. And Legacy Key is right here where we can send a branded note to the beneficiaries, something that belongs in the keep file that the client can have a say in how it's worded. And now this gives the beneficiary a way to now reach back out to you whenever, because when we're mourning the loss of our family member, like it's the last time they want to think about like, how do I don't even know who my parents' advisors are, my beneficiaries, advisor, who do I get a hold of? This now gives them a way back to you, and that's with Legacy Key right there. So for those that are using Legacy Center, we encourage you to go on there and take a look at Legacy Key. If we're missing an address for them, this does go out via email. We'll go ahead and put that in, and then you can take a look through that branded way of seeing how we can reach out to them. I'll point out this too. Anytime that you're working inside of Nitrogen, whether you're using Nucleus to search for help, like, hey, tell me about Legacy Key there, how I use it, or if you're using our help tab and go to our resources guide with our knowledge base there, a couple of ways to get help and learn a little bit more about Legacy Key. So that being said, or Legacy Center, or anything that we're talking about today, Stephanie, let's go ahead and navigate from there. And again, we'll just remind folks too, this is being recorded, so you will get a copy of the recording. Again, if you do have questions, put them in that question box there, that Q&A box in your Zoom window there, and we will be answering those, and we'll be teeing those up for our Q&A that's coming up here in just a little bit as well. So quick reminder that we want to hear from you. But Stephanie, I'm going to bounce it back over you to start, and we'll kind of tag team, I think, Insurance Center here and just talk about this newest, the coverage number. Holy cow, blowing my mind of this thing, the things that we've got here.
I know, so good, so much to cover. And Chris, just to double check,
Yes.
with
Did I
Research
miss something?
Center, Research Center, did we show off the
Oh,
new Stats X-ray? I know
holy
we pulled
cow.
up a security. Yeah,
Boof.
let's
Okay.
jump
See,
back to
you
Discovery and show off a new
you are
feature.
you're keeping me honest here, and that is
That's okay. That's what
fantastic.
we're here
So
for.
there's so many things there. I blew right past it, but if I look up a individual security, for instance, I'm in security stats now there. I went very quickly up at the top here. I searched for QQQ, but let me go back to my home screen, for instance, and let me search from there too, because we can use the search bar, for instance, to search for an individual security either here or in Discovery. But the thing that we have now is called X-ray. So if I come down to the model performance section right here, you'll see it's tucked away right in here, not super obvious. So this is, again, why we like to do the points and clicks. If I click on this, it'll expand it down. Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. And what I'll see now is the top 25 things, that holdings that make up QQQ. So if I take a look here, I can see what is actually in this. We're calling this X-ray, so we can expand that down. Now, only the top 25 are showing right now. If I want the complete list, we'll give you a download option here where you can download that CSV and see all. Oops, sorry. Let me put that right back there. I scrolled too quick. If you want to point that out again there, Stephanie, if you want to see all the ingredients that go to make up, for instance, QQQ, I don't know, Stephanie. I'm partial to the Qs. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But there we go. There. But there we go. So that is or inside of security stats there, specifically under that model performance right there. You'll see that, and that is, I know I'm scrolling kind of fast here. I want to make sure we're fitting everything in, but that is called X-ray. Again, clicking on that arrow and seeing. And again, if I want the whole list, then I can download the CSV there. But awesome, Stephanie. Thank you for keeping me honest. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So let's go
absolutely. No
back.
problem, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's jump back to the Delgados
Oh,
and we will walk through some of the clicks of Insurance Center. So this is the brand new center that we launched with Insurance Center. and the coverage number. This is where you can come in, and we have a whole new assessment that you can send to clients or prospects if you want to talk insurance coverage. Are they covered adequately? So when you click on the insurance tab inside of a profile and you choose that assessment option, it's very much like the questionnaire. You can share a link with the client from your own email. You can send an email from Nitrogen, or you can launch it in your next client meeting. So definitely check that out. The pro tip we always give is if this is new and you want to explore it, make sure you have a profile for yourself. I know, always the recommendation, Chris. So if you have a profile for yourself, you can go in here and like walk through and do your own insurance assessment, so that you can kind of know and see what your clients and prospects would experience. So we're not going to go through that part in depth here, but we have lots of guides in the Help Center in the bottom right-hand corner. So you can visit that, and you see now we've sort of reset the insurance page. So anytime someone doesn't have an assessment, you'll see that send an assessment option here in Insurance Center. So now that we've shown you where to find it, we're gonna again jump to a fully baked version. So we're gonna go to the Williams family and show you an assessment that is ready to go. And just to call out, the income coverage assessment is like around 10 questions. It's a guided questionnaire, so you can let the client do it themselves, or if you're there alongside them, that's always a great use case as well. And then once the assessment is done, here's the fully baked version. We can come in and view and edit our assessment on the right-hand side. So if you want to see how the client answered everything, is there anything that we need to edit in terms of client details, assets, liabilities, life insurance, long-term care, like this insurance coverage assessment is pretty thorough. So you can view how the client answered everything there in the assessment, with that edit option. So you can click around. And then once we close the assessment, we can see the different coverage areas. So
And I'll just hop in real quick here. Yeah, these different areas that we're covering here. Also, I'll point out this assessment tab here as well. Kind of we can do a quick summary of the assessment. It's date stamped too, so if we need that, a couple of ways to get to those details as well. So just a quick heads up there of when you're looking to review that assessment. Again, great pro tip, like go through an assessment yourself. It is pretty lengthy, more than we have time to go through today, but it's pretty self-explanatory as well. So as you, the advisor, just go through it and make sure you're familiar with it. But then once we get to the results here, this is where we want to say, hey, this is the power of the coverage number, and help you understand it a little bit more. So Stephanie, sorry, I'll popcorn it back over to you here for that.
yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, once you have that assessment completed, you can scroll through the summary here. So we'll have a summary for their total coverage number. Again, between 0 and over 200, their life insurance coverage. So we'll show you the scale and then show you where their number kind of falls. Are they in the green zone? Are they too low, too high? What's their coverage look like? So you can scroll through and see those different summaries and gaps and things like that. And then the beauty of Insurance Center right here is you can make some suggestions, either in your client meeting, or you can have something ready to go. So if we scroll up to the life insurance section, maybe here in Insurance Center, you want to recommend a policy like, hey, your life insurance is really pretty low. So we want to bump that up a little bit, make sure you're covered from a life insurance perspective. You can add a proposal, that button on the right-hand side. Think of this as your ability to show the client a policy just here in Nitrogen. So it's not getting too detailed, but you can add a policy and then just simply type in, hey, this is going to be, so-and-so's life insurance policy. We're going to have $1.5 million for the death benefit. That's going to be permanent life insurance. We also offer term life insurance. So this is just that visual, that illustration that you can show here. So you can save that. And then instantly we see that change, side by side comparison here, their coverage versus what you're proposing. And then, of course, to actually make these changes happen, you can go outside of nitrogen and set them up with policies wherever that needs to be executed. But you can save the recommendations and visuals here in Insurance Center. We could scroll down and do something similar for long-term care coverage. Maybe we want to add a proposal or recommendation for LTC coverage as well. So you can add a policy here. Let's say we want to have LTC for $12,000 a month, maybe a 5-year duration. Again, this is super fast. We're showing you how easy it is to add these numbers. Even if you're sitting next to a client and you want to add some numbers on the fly, kind of try out some different things, you can do that. And there we take them from a coverage number of 0 to 91. So we're getting them in that sort of happy space, that well-covered space with the coverage number. So you can save that proposal. Again, these changes are just here in their Insurance Center profile. You can come in and edit things anytime that you need them. And then we also have an illustration at the bottom for retirement income coverage. This is a cool visual because if you have our income center and you've worked with retirement maps for a long time, this visual right here may look very similar. This is likened to that income by source in the retirement map. So it's showing us, hey, even with your income that you have planned right now, maybe you're going to fall short a little bit. The retirement income coverage could be an opportunity where you add in an annuity. I will highlight, we don't have to click there just yet, but if you want to edit income sources in the retirement map in Income Center, like Social Security, check your account coverage, things like that, you can edit those income sources really quickly, jump to the retirement map, and then jump back. But for right now, we're going to keep us right here. And even though their coverage is okay, there's still a little bit of a gap. So again, here in income or Insurance Center, I should say, we can add a proposal and maybe we want to recommend an annuity. So this is adding an investment proposal. This is where we recommend actually building out a proposal inside of the client's profile. So you see we have a proposal here that we can select. So when we choose that proposal, it has an annuity in it. So this is where we can show them, hey, you've got pretty good coverage, but if we just complement your current investments with an annuity, that's the orange bar at the bottom. So it kind of bumps up and over time helps cover that income gap that you might have. Now, again, we didn't show you how to go in and build a proposal, but we have lots of resources in the Help Center in the bottom right-hand corner to do that. We have lots of articles as well on annuities and all of that good stuff. So that's where you can go in and make sure if you want to have a proposal with an annuity, you can do that and reflect it here in the retirement income coverage section of Insurance Center. Chris, we have so many new names, so many
Holy
new
cow.
places to go and things to do, and it's all so connected. Yeah, so hopefully everybody joining us today is getting some good practice or at least seeing where to click and everything. But Chris, anything else that we missed before we get ready to jump into some live Q&A?
Yeah, so this is again, this is brand new. If you've got nitrogen complete, this is included in it. So if you've got it, it's already there. Otherwise, this can be an add-on, as it's actually it can be a standalone. I think we've got it for a limited time right now for $79 a month. That's kind of a sales thing. We're just here to tell you what it is. If you want to, you can let us know if you're interested. We can pass that along. But I do want to make sure a couple of distinctions here. When it comes to using the retirement income coverage, when we're talking about a proposal, that's actually building out a proposed portfolio inside of nitrogen. So spot on. We've got resources that tell you how to build that. For instance, we added this is the annuity that we added in for how much, and that got this to kind of fill in the gaps here. Now, again, when it comes to proposal, when we're talking about long-term care coverage, by the way, this shows up if our client is 45 years old or older. If they're under 45, this won't really be an option for you. So just a quick note about that. If you're seeing that, they need to be over 45. And then apparently that's when all of our gray hairs come in and we can start talking about long-term care coverage. But when we're talking about a proposal there, I'm adding in a life insurance policy. I'm just putting kind of generic, right? I'm putting that in. I'm putting in a dollar amount. Is it term? Is it permanent? And then it's now that starts the conversation as you, the advisor, the financial professional, can come in and say, okay, let's drill down on what exactly that policy is. We're not defining that here in nitrogen. We just want them to be able to see if we added a policy, here's what it would do for your coverage number. And again, the sweet spot is in this green zone right here. So if we're not covered enough, it's on this side of the green spot. Maybe we identify where we've got maybe too much coverage on the right side of that little green swath there, and we might want to redirect somewhere else. So that's where that coverage number goes. Again, risk numbers from 1 to 99. The coverage number goes out a little. I think we go up to 200 there. So kind of in that sweet spot is the hundreds right there. So we're wrapping our heads around a different sort of number, but still helping to show the value of your advice by using that coverage number, by using Insurance Center there. So we wanted to, again, kind of help you understand what we're working with as we're inside of Insurance Center there. So with all that being said, lots of stuff to explore, lots of things. Again, if you've got nitrogen complete, all of that's there. Otherwise, things like Legacy Center and Tax Center and Insurance Center, those can be add-ons if that works for you and your firm. But with that being said, Stephanie, I think unless we've missed anything else, we need to jump to our Q&A.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's jump to Q&A.
All right, we are to our Q&A. Thanks everybody for joining us. Again, reminder, if you have questions, to go ahead and put them in the Q&A box there in your Zoom window. Also, we're going to launch a poll here as well as we're getting ready to close, just to see how's this content for you? How's all this going? And we want to make sure that we're getting your feedback. So if you would just take a little bit of time just to fill that out for us, we'd appreciate that. Also, this is being recorded. We've said this a couple of times, so in case you want to go back and watch any of this, see where there's points and clicks are again, you can go back and watch the recording. That recording will be coming out here in just a little bit. Also, oftentimes we have people ask like, hey, really great, what's your next webinar? That's going to be coming up here at the beginning of September. We're going to be doing a webinar just exclusively focused on Insurance Center. So, excuse me, we've seen a little bit about that today. We're going to focus exclusively on Insurance Center there. So if you want to join that one, again, coming up here in a few weeks. And again, if you can't make it, that's okay. We'll send you the recording. We're going to put the registration link for that webinar in the chat there. The team behind the scenes is doing that. So thank you so much, team, for doing that. So be sure to check that out. Again, that's coming up. I believe it's on September 3rd. So with that being said, I've got Stephanie joining here, of course. Stephanie, thanks so much again for helping out here and love doing these together with you. And we have joining us now, she's been waiting this whole time. She's been very patient. Laura, she is one of our product managers here, our product owners. And so super excited to have her helping us answer some of these questions. And also maybe we might get a little bit of a roadmap. Maybe a little bit of a tease here as well. That's kind of the advantage of joining live. So here we go. Stephanie, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to throw this first question your way. Will this work if we actually use the feed from Circle Black versus using the feed integration with Schwab? So that's when we were talking about that Schwab account opening. Again, that's coming. It's not live yet, coming later on this fall. So I think we're going to do it in conjunction with their big event that's happening. So Stephanie, let me throw that one your way if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Schwab account opening is going to be available if you integrate directly with Schwab. So that would need to be in place. We have integration instructions for Schwab in our help center if you're in the product or in our knowledge base. So yeah, definitely if you have things feeding from Schwab into another platform, that won't connect to the Schwab account opening. But if you're integrated directly with Schwab, you'll be good to go.
Awesome. Let's see. I'll take this next one. Will Nucleus be available to use as part of the RBC Black program, which uses Circle Black Red Tail Right Capital? So interesting. Yeah, there's a few folks that we like to say, and I don't know if we put the disclaimer here very much when we were talking about it. So Nucleus, just depending on if it's been approved yet or not for you, that's you'll see that little side panel. We call it sidecar that's following you throughout nitrogen there. I believe with RBC. It's up to the individual firms there. So if your firm and if you have a question about that, check with your compliance folks to see if they're in talks with that. So RBC is kind of a little like just it depends. There's some firms that just firm wide haven't approved it yet, although we're in talks with a lot of folks if you haven't seen that Nucleus option there for you. But we're excited to get it in more and more hands as it gets approved. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead. It looks like we've got a lot of the poll responses here. So I'm just going to go ahead and end that poll. And thanks everybody for your responses. We sure appreciate that. Let's see. Any word on when Nitrogen Tax Center will be available to LPL advisors? Laura, can I throw that your way? I know we were checking with our team here. A lot of things with LPL that we want to be in conversation with them about, but any insight there?
Yeah, absolutely. It is currently still under review with LPL's team, but we have made a lot of progress on it. So we are hoping here soon that we'll be able to announce some good news.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're definitely keeping that at the front of the list for sure. Let's see. This next question here, can the Roth conversion tab take inputs such as maximizing conversions until RMD age or scenarios such as retirement or reduced income? Laura or Stephanie? No, sorry, Laura. I was trying to think of who's answering that one. Laura, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at that one.
Yeah, that's a great question. Not yet, but we've gotten a lot of feedback with the Roth conversion, and we have a lot coming. So RMDs are on the roadmap. So hopefully those will be in the mix soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and this is one of the things we really love these opportunities that we have to have these type of sessions where we can get that feedback like, hey, maybe there's some gaps or maybe it's on the product roadmap, but this helps us confirm of maybe where the arrow should be pointing for us to go next. So we really appreciate that. Another question here related to that, inherited IRA needs to be added to these registration options. So again, got that. I think that came from Rick. Rick, great feedback. So one of the cool things is we've got our product team on these sessions with us. And so we're making note of those. We're going to pass those over to our team. So again, great feedback to see what advisors are needing there. Is there a way, Stephanie, if I could throw this one your way, is there a way to turn off the email notifications when statements are uploaded? Actually, a really great question.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had other folks ask as well. So right now, there's not a way to turn off the email notifications, but we're going to take that as a product idea, product improvement to the team as well. So that's always super helpful. As a personal pro tip, I don't know what email system you use, but like in my own email, I can set up like filters or folders. So things like Zoom notifications and stuff like that. If I don't need it in my main inbox, I'll like set up something so that it gets diverted over there. So maybe you can divert those notification emails to another corner of your inbox. But in terms of the email notifications, we'll take that idea to our team. Oh, Chris, you're muted.
First time using Zoom. Forgot I muted myself there to yell at the dog. Anyway, all right, here we go. Is Nucleus included with Complete? Stephanie, can you take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Nucleus, I will say Nucleus will be included with Complete if Nucleus, depending on your broker dealer, There are some approvals that we're still working with in that AI arena for rolling out Nucleus. But yes, complete as a subscription if Nucleus has been approved, if you're a part of a broker dealer, then that would be included. Or if you're like an RIA and you have complete, you would have Nucleus as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, we got a question here around Legacy Key and basically showing the content of that again. And I'm trying to really quickly go back. I'm trying to remember because we've covered so many things today, Stephanie. I'm trying to remember which one on my, I don't
Oh,
want to get the right
Dave and
one.
Linda Johnson, I
Johnson
believe is
was the
the
one. I think we
profile.
had a couple. That's what I get for having different profile names here. But yeah, happy to show that one again. Let me share my screen here and let's see if that's coming up here. Is that coming through? Can you guys see Dave and Linda there? I want to make sure we got that. Okay, so great. So going here to Legacy Center, again, this is something that we built out. We're feeding those accounts over from the portfolio, estate, the family trust, looking at things like that. Our three kind of main tabs here are the beneficiaries, accounts, and trusts. We can see how that's broken down, who that's going to, and if there's any life insurance policies that we want to add in and who's getting to getting those specifically or how that's going to be divided up. Specifically, though, here we have the beneficiaries that we've added in and the option I can add more beneficiaries if I need to. These can be, by the way, individuals or organizations. So maybe there's an organization, a nonprofit, that they want to leave something, a legacy to as well. These can be entered in here as well. But then I can go ahead and send a legacy key. I can put their name in there and or not their name but their email address in there, and then we can form out that email. We can modify, there's some templated wording in there, but we can modify that in conjunction with our client. They can speak into what we would say, and then that would shoot an email off to the beneficiary, and they can have that. Basically, it's something that they can put in the keep folder. So when they do need to reach out, there's a way for them to reach back to you as the advisor, especially who wants to be thinking about that when we've maybe recently lost a loved one. And so this will basically have something for them proactive ahead of time saying, hey, this is our parents advisor, whoever they are the beneficiary of, to go ahead and reach back to you and have that conversation. We can create them also as a client here in Nitrogen as well. Right now, Tad and Tara aren't clients of mine. They're not in Nitrogen, but if I wanted to create them as a client, I could do that if I'm adding a beneficiary. Again, person, organization, and I could add them if they are a current client in Nitrogen. I could add them there as well. So pretty straightforward. If you've got Legacy Center, I encourage you to get in there and start playing with it a little bit. We always, Stephanie and I like to say, use yourself, use your family members just as a sandbox, just to test it around and see what you can come up with. Let's see. Can you enable newly opened accounts to come through custodian data feeds? Stephanie or Laura, either one of you want to take that one?
Yeah, I can take it.
Perfect.
Yes, you can enable newly opened accounts to come through those custodial data feeds. The one key piece of this is that it has to be a funded account. So if that account is not funded yet, it will not come through. It won't show for us to pull over. So it does have to be funded. But yes, newly opened accounts will come over through a custodial data feed.
Fantastic. Okay, Stephanie, maybe you can double check here with me. I'm trying to see if there's any more questions that are coming through. I'll give us just a minute here in case folks are thinking of anything that it sparks their memory of what's coming through. Other than that, hey, we're super glad that you're here. We've got a ton of resources for you. In the help tab on the right-hand side of your Nitrogen account there on the right part of the screen, there's a bunch of help resources there for you. Using Nucleus, if you've got access to Nucleus, again, we showed you it's on the left-hand side there, popping that open, using that as a help resource, just saying, again, hey, Nucleus, what can you do for me? How should I prep for this client meeting? Hey, I have a question around GPA. Help me explain that to my client. It's got all of our knowledge base, all of our data in there. It's got all of it. to help you out, not only for those meetings, but if you've got, for instance, integrations like Wealthbox and Redtail and Salesforce. It also brings in now information from the CRM to give us a more holistic view of this client. Also, hey, remember that today is their birthday, right? Like client information data. It will be that, and we'll keep that as context as well. And we're just, Laura, can you just give us quick, before we close here, just kind of maybe a quick roadmap? Because I know Nucleus is one of the things under your umbrella there, and maybe just a couple of other things.
Yeah, absolutely. So two that I'm really excited about. I'll first start with Nucleus. We are continuing to build into Nucleus so that Nucleus can do more for you as advisors. So you should see more capabilities that Nucleus can do, more tasks across the platform too. The other one, obviously, the big kind of show of the product release was Insurance Center. We are continuing to build into Insurance Center too, and trying to build it into more of a household view so you can show the client and the client's spouse and see what that does to their coverage number. So those are the two things on the roadmap that I'm really excited about myself, and hopefully y'all are too.
Love it. Absolutely. Well, it looks like we're getting here to the bottom of the hours. So, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Not seeing any other questions coming in. Again, in the chat section there, we put the registration link for our next webinar focused specifically on Insurance Center. So, if you want to sign up for that, we'd be happy to include you in that as well. And, Stephanie, anything else that we should let folks know before we wrap up today?
I don't think so. No, the replay will be sent out. You may see an email survey as well. So if you see that, share your feedback
Yes.
with us. Yeah, absolutely. We always love to hear feedback and kind of make these webinars better and better. And what you want to hear about and learn about. So that's always super helpful. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for joining us today.
And thanks, Laura, for joining us as well.
Yeah,
We'll
thanks,
see
Laura.
everybody
Thanks
next
for having
time.
me.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Bye, y'all.